I was ready to divorce my wife, until I overheard what she told her friends about me. For months, I had felt invisible, dismissed, and tired of the silence that filled our home like an unwanted guest. Our conversations had become mechanical, our laughter replaced by polite nods, and every touch felt forced. I had convinced myself that love had run its course, that perhaps the years had dulled what once burned brightly between us. One night, as I came home late from work, papers in my hand and resolve in my heart, I heard her voice drifting from the living room. She was with her two closest friends, women she had known since college, and they were laughing softly over glasses of wine. I paused, half hidden in the hallway, ready to make my presence known, until I heard my name. "He's not perfect," she said quietly, "but he's the reason I still believe in good men." My hand froze on the doorknob. The tone of her voice wasn't defensive or forced, it was gentle, almost reverent. Her friends went quiet, and she continued, "He doesn't know it, but every time he helps my father without being asked, or wakes up early to pack lunches, or just sits beside me when I'm too exhausted to talk, it reminds me how lucky I am. I don't say it enough because I'm scared he doesn't feel the same anymore. But I still love him, even when I'm angry." Her words pierced through every layer of frustration I had built around myself. The divorce papers in my bag suddenly felt heavier than bricks. I had come to believe we were both done, that our distance was proof of failure, but what I was hearing now was something raw, human, and filled with quiet devotion, the kind of love that endures through disappointment. As her friends reassured her, I stepped back, leaning against the wall, trying to process the storm of emotions rising inside me. I realized that I had been so focused on what I wasn't receiving that I'd stopped noticing what she was still giving. Every small gesture, every unspoken kindness, I had dismissed them as routine, not realizing they were her ways of holding on. That night, I couldn't face her. I waited until morning, watching her sleep, her hand resting lightly on my side of the bed as if reaching for something she was afraid to lose. The next day, instead of heading to my lawyer's office, I went to a florist and bought her the same wildflowers we had on our first date. When I handed them to her, she looked confused, then tearful. "What's this for?" she asked softly. "For not giving up," I said. She stared at me for a long moment, then broke down, whispering how she thought I didn't love her anymore. That conversation lasted hours, longer than any we'd had in years, and by the time the sun set, we had found pieces of ourselves we'd both forgotten. It wasn't a fairy tale fix. Healing rarely is. We still argued, still stumbled, but now, every disagreement ended with understanding, not silence. Months later, during another small dinner with her friends, she caught my gaze and smiled knowingly, as if she knew that I had heard her that night. Maybe she did. Maybe she wanted me to. Either way, that overheard confession saved our marriage, reminding me that love doesn't always shout. It whispers in small acts, quiet loyalty, and the courage to stay even when it's hard. I had walked into that night ready to end everything, but I walked out understanding that sometimes, what feels broken is only waiting to be seen again, and that the person we think has stopped loving us might be holding on with everything they have, just hoping we'll notice before it's too late.